Hey there, stringers. Matt from Midwest Lacrosse Company here today to talk to you about finishing up your Pita pocket. We're going to put some shooters in this, but first we're going to talk a little bit about pulling the tension in the pocket correctly. You'll notice that this looks a little bit cleaner than in part 1 video when we finished up, meaning that everything's almost perfectly symmetrical. Probably never going to be perfect, but you strive for perfection, meaning our spacing from one interlock to the next is as even as we can get it. Our spacing between the leathers is as even as we can get it. We want to have a little bit more slack normally in our channel strings on the inside than we do on these outside channels. Those you want to be a little bit tighter to keep the channel as clean as possible. So the way that I did that after we finished stringing up, I took obviously the ball out, and then I work from the top to the bottom, just pulling the tension a little bit tighter in a zigzag all the way down, following the string. And you just gotta push the pocket out and kind of eyeball it, and it does take a little while. It took me about 20 minutes to get it, reasonably clean. So you do have to take the time. And I also shortened up the leathers a little bit because our pocket was pretty deep when we had the ball in here with the butter knife. So I'm going to show you now how to put some shooters in this thing, and we'll call it a day. Alright, so I like to put a nylon in the top just because it takes a little bit more of the lip away from hitting the plastic. You can use a regular shooter as well if you're more comfortable with that. I like to start through the plastic, especially for the top string, just for the reason that I just mentioned, the lip on the plastic. So I'm going to go through this hole right here. It seems like a good spot for my string. I want to take this straight across, so we're going to look, and it's good to plan your path before you take it when you're doing traditionals, because the diamonds get a little confusing sometimes. So I want to take this straight over to there, so it looks like I need to go over the top of here, through here, over the top of that knot, and do the same thing on the other side. So we're going to weave it just like we weaved our other shooting strings in mesh. We're going to go the back string over the top, front string under the bottom. We're going to weave it right there. I'm going to do the same thing all the way across. I want to get inside this diamond in front of the leather. Now on the other side of the leather, inside the diamond. Now outside that green diamond between the yellow leather. Come across and go around that center twist like so. Come around the next leather. Get into that red diamond there before the red leather, come across the red leather, and then on the other side we went over the top of this, so we'll go right there again. And I'll finish by putting this front side string through the sidewall hole so it can come out and meet the back side string. And I'll pull it relatively tight. When you pull the shooters tight on traditionals, it tends to yank the whole pocket to that side where you're pulling. So when you do pull the top one especially tight, go back through and kind of make sure that you pull the leathers the other way so that everything stays centered and symmetrical. And then I like to tie it off like that. And if your string's long enough, you can do that one more time. I don't think my string's long enough, but that's alright. Okay, now for the next string, I'm going to use this nice Rasta looking shooter from Gimalax, and I'm going to put it through the next set of diamonds. So I got this set of diamonds, now I'm going to go through this one and I'm gonna chart my path. So it looks, with this stick, I want to start right here in this sidewall hole. With a stick without a sidewall hole there, you can either go around the plastic, or you can also just start right here in this sidewall string right there, and that's a fine place to anchor your stringing. But since I've got this hole, clutches have a million, I'm gonna use it. So I'll go through the sidewall hole there, make sure that my strings are relatively even, and then chart my path. So it looks like for this one, I'm gonna want to go in here, in there, over the top here, over the top there, in here, and then over the top of that guy again, and finish right there. So we'll go like so. You're going to cross it twice between each leather. Make sure you keep your path. Sometimes with the traditionals, it's easier than mesh to either get angled up or angled down instead of straight across. And if you mess up, it's always good to go back and fix it. No shame in that. We all make mistakes. Alright, so you can see I'm getting over to the other side, trying to keep it nice and parallel, symmetrical. I take this guy on the front side and find that sidewall hole and push it through there. Now I want to pull this one relatively tight too, and I'm going to start over on this side and pull a little bit of string along the way instead of doing one big yank at the end, because that pulls your leathers over too much. So you want the second shooter in your trads to be pretty darn tight as well. It can be a little bit tighter than you would normally do it in your mesh. Trads, overall, you can make the shooters a little tighter and they won't cause too much whip just because of the nature of the leathers and the release. So that's a good thing to remember. So we've got this guy nice and snug. Now we'll do one more of the same nature straight across. Again, with this clutch, I've got a nice opportunity to use this sidewall hole here, but you could just as easily go around the plastic or use this sidewall string. So we'll go in through there, and then we need to make our plan one more time. So it looks like we just got to go straight across there, just like that, underneath that interlock and over the top of those and underneath that one. So here we go. You want to do your best to keep the shooters as flat as possible, but if they twist a little bit, that's okay. You just don't want to have them really twisted up. That's when things get a little bit difficult. Remember, when you're weaving, you always got to go one string over the other the same way every time. So I take my back string and go over the front string, take the front string, go underneath the back string. And you just got to make sure that you keep it exactly parallel and go through all the same diamonds on either side. Because symmetry is crucial if you want the ball to come out of your stick straight, that is. And then we'll finish it off by putting it through the sidewall hole. With this one, you also want to tighten it up a little bit, but mostly you just want to make sure there's not too much slack in it. So I kind of pulled it tight and then let it out a little bit with my fingers like that. Give it the tie off, and that is a very good way to do a simple shooter setup in a pita pocket or most any trad stick, if you will. Over time, the tension in your pocket will change a little bit with use. These diamonds will shift up and down the leathers a little bit, so you have to be attentive to these type of pockets. You have to pay attention to the details. When they do get wet, you need to make sure and wash all the mud off them and dry them properly. Throw either a towel or some dry newspaper in your pocket. Just take care of your traditional pocket and it'll take care of you. They have amazing feel and they don't have too much whip if you string them right. So we're gonna do some more videos for you guys, some more tutorials. Stay tuned. Check out our website, MidwestLacrosse.com. Thank you.